Welcome to week one of No Fall Weddings. Man, I hope they're all like this. What a first week of college football. We'll get to Notre Dame at some point. Great win over Texas A&M. But I got to start with the U. I never thought I would. It's been, 25 years since they were relevant? And they went into the swamp and kicked Florida's you know what. It's amazing what an elite quarterback can do for a team. You know, Miami's been saying, oh, we're back, we're the U. We got the turnover chain, or they beat my Irish a couple years ago, and man, they were like ranked 2 or 3 at one point, and they were back and fell completely off again. But I think this time it might be for real. And you know what? It's good for college football. When the U is back, college football is even better. If you look at it, the only ranked team the rest of their schedule is Florida State, who lost last week. So I don't even know if they're going to be ranked. So as long as Miami doesn't stumble, and with that quarterback, I don't think they will. They might only lose one game. They will be in the college football playoff this year. It's crazy. They finally have enough talent to overcome Mario Cristobal and his terrible game management. Florida, on the other hand, yikes. The days of Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier are long gone. Feels like centuries ago. I don't think I've ever seen a team walk into the swamp like that and just kick their ass. The other big game of the day, which was at noon, was Clemson and Georgia. Two teams separated by about a couple hours. I hate that they play in the Georgia Dome. I don't know why we don't play home and homes. These neutral site games need to go. They're terrible. Save them for the playoffs. Save them for the national championship games. But in the regular season, should always be playing home and homes. But that leads us to Dabo Swinney. Oh man, it takes a real shitty person for me to enjoy an SEC dominant win. But when it's Dabo, I'll always take it. The man thinks he can win on charm and faith. Maybe he needs to actually grow up and get with the times with college football, and I don't know, use the transfer portal, because clearly he's not. He might be recruiting okay, but he's not developing. And I think it's just more evidence that if you don't have a generational quarterback, which he just happened to have two of them back to back, maybe he's not a very good coach. And Georgia, there's not much to say about Georgia. I don't know if they have the best talent this year. I think that might reside up in Columbus. But it's clear that they are the number one program in college football. They have the best system. They have a great coach who's obviously won 2 titles now. Every year, they are going to be in it for the foreseeable future. And I can't see them losing in the SEC this year. Before we get to Notre Dame, let's do our first Heisman list of the year. Now, I didn't do a preseason Heisman list because why would you do one when there's no games? So I'm basing my list just off what's happened. No preseason hype, no Vegas odds, just what happened so far. At number 3, we got Ashton Gentry. Now I'm putting him here because probably might be the last time he's here, but I need to give him some props because the running back from Boise State yesterday had a year. 20 carries, 267 yards, 6 touchdowns. Hell of a day, man. Number 2, Cam Ward, Miami. Listen, he's exciting. He'll throw some balls up in the air that are very dangerous. You can say he's a gunslinger, but I would more say it's reckless. But he is exciting. And going into the swamp, I know they were favored. I personally didn't. I've always expect Miami to kind of fall over themselves. I kind of forgot Florida in their ineptitude on offense. But Cam Ward, man, he looks like the real deal. And he's exciting. He is exciting. Everyone can compare him to Caleb Williams or something. I don't think he's to that level, but he is exciting and he's got the swag for the U and it works. Put up 385 yards yesterday, 3 touchdowns. Again, going into Florida week 1, that was a big game for both teams and they stomped them. But the number 1 player right now, best player in the country, I don't think it's that close. It's Travis Hunter from Colorado. That guy, offense, defense. He's the best player on that field. Sanders is good. Listen, I'm going to start defending him and hope my NFL team drafts him. But without Travis Hunter, that team may win 1-2 games this year. He's the best player in college football. Wake up the echoes, baby. Notre Dame goes into Texas A&M, and their stupid 12th man comes out with the W. It wasn't pretty. Not going to lie. I was very disappointed by Notre Dame's offense and their new quarterback, Riley Leonard. Just could not get the ball moving. But hey, when you have an offensive line that has 6 total starts combined for 5 guys, and they're going up against what supposedly is an elite defensive line from the SEC, and they hung their own. Yeah, they couldn't get the ball moving early. They couldn't run the ball. Did a decent job of protecting, but you could tell our scheme was to get the ball out early. Had no turnovers. They had 2 or 3. That can be the difference. We busted one long run, but it came down to Notre Dame had the ball with 6 minutes to go, 85 yards to the end zone, and just, what do they call it, matriculated down the field. Just a gutsy win for Notre Dame. You know, every year people call Notre Dame overrated, and I can semi-understand it. I think that is a little overrated because if you look at where they start versus where they finish the last 15 years, they're actually a little underrated. But they are the University of College Football, and when you don't win anything of significance, I get it. But first game of the year, going into Texas A&M, having the balls to schedule Texas A&M, looking at some other teams around the country. That's such a great start for Marcus Freeman. And again, just like Miami, you look at Notre Dame's schedule, there's not a lot of hiccups there. So sure looks like they're going to be in the annual 12-team college football playoff. Play of the day. You know, I had it all scheduled. It was a great interception by this kid from Georgia. Man, it's like when we watch football, we always yell at DBs, turn your head, turn your head. Well, this guy knows how to turn his head. And when he does, he makes spectacular interceptions. But before I went to bed last night, caught a play from Utah State's Rob Carter. Watch this play and tell me it's not the greatest interception you've ever seen. No hyperbole.
Unbelievable. Wow. Oh my gosh.
I mean, what is that? When I first saw it, I didn't know if it was offense, defense. I assumed he was the receiver. Receivers make that kind of catch. Which begs the question, why isn't he playing offense? So that wraps up week 1. A lot of great matchups this week, but not as many good games. Next week, not so much. Kind of have a little dip in the matchups game between ranked teams. I saw Tennessee at NC State. You know, Tennessee going on the road. I think they played Chattanooga today, so let's give them a test. Iowa at Iowa State. You know, it's funny. They suspend Kirk Ferentz for a week, and they score 40 points. I don't know about you, but I would, if I'm the AD, I'm thinking, funny. We can score more than 12 points a game. But the big one, Texas at Michigan. In Ann Arbor, at the Big House. 2 teams that made the college football playoff last year. One that got there legitimately and one that might have cheated. Just saying. Told you. It's going to be a little biased. That was No Fall Weddings. Please like, comment, subscribe. Part of the Co-Working It universe. And I'll see you next week.